As we mentioned at the top of the show, CeBIT Australia, the country's premier annual high-tech show, took Darling Harbour in Sydney by storm a fortnight ago. Since the CeBIT concept originated in Germany, it's branched out to corporate hotspots around the world. With Australia being one of the principal business centres in the Asia-Pacific region, it was brought to Sydney for the first time in 2002 by Hanover Fairs Australia. Casting an expert eye over proceedings was Managing Director of Worldwide CeBIT Events, Jörg Schomburg.
If I should describe this, these are all kinds of industry, of products and services which in the farthest sense have anything to do with information technology or with telecommunications. That means not only PCs and mobile phones, as normally people believe. It goes from banking system to e-health to e-government and all these kinds of vertical sectors in which this ICT industry is going into.
Now, CeBIT is as much about showing off the latest developments from the international information and communications technology industry as it is about showing off Australian know-how.
We spend about 90% of our PR budget only outside Germany for the German CeBIT. And since we are so nationally well known, also here in Australia, when we started here, immediately everybody expected that we are here an international fair, and that not Australia shows its product to Australians, but also the others.
At CeBIT 2004, over 25% of the exhibitors were international, while among the thousands of visitors were trade delegations from 20 countries. There were also interstate delegations, and among the WA contingent were representatives from software specialist Anthem. Now, this is a great example of the sort of innovation that the Australian ICT industry is putting out there. Anthem Software's Adrian Float and his team are coming up with solutions to make the way we do business a whole lot more efficient.
Traditionally, we've had whiteboards managing, what's Bob doing, what's Dave doing, lots of phone calls, and pieces of paper flying around that, we the customer sign when Dave's done a job. And basically what that leads to is a lot of wastage in van stock, people being dispatched from Joondalup to Rockingham, and areas where basically we've got business wastage. And when we've got business wastage, that means that there's people not being employed and businesses not making a profit.
We all know in business that time is money, and Anthem's Mobilise It strategy is all about making the most of PDAs, laptops and tablets to cut out the paper trail and make those transactions happen in real time. Here's how it works.
We're taking the technology of others like HP and Telstra, and we're bringing them together with some software products for providing email to users out on the road, so you can send and receive from wherever you happen to be. Further to that, we're also supplying the same solutions for like field sales reps, so they can take an order on the road, or service technicians to be able to book a job or quote for a job, or close off their work order in the field. And the missing piece of that as well is our Manage It product, which allows you to manage the workflow environments of your business, so scheduling, service management, job allocation, those kinds of functions, territory management and sales, that businesses typically grapple with and manage with a whiteboard.
Say hello to the electronic inductive automatic cap opening dustbin, complete with an infrared sensor which will lift the lid all by itself on a whole new way of rubbish removal. According to the crew at Sapphire Innovations, 4 D-sized batteries will keep the lid on active duty for 6 to 12 months. They come in 5 sizes and 3 finishes, plastic, stainless steel and a satin variant. Also at your disposal, the very practical bin liner holder and a constant open function for the big jobs. In a world littered with wacky Japanese inventions, this particularly clever one was originally developed for the US medical sector. But thankfully this great idea hasn't gone to waste as a purely industrial tool. Just wait for this one to take the Australian kitchens by storm. Last week, IT specialist Daniel Linden talked us through a basic home office setup. Well, let's say your venture is growing and it's time to move out of the home office to dedicated business premises with room for employees. At this stage of the game, you may need a server to manage your network of Windows PCs.
Generally, for less than 5 employees, you can get away without having a dedicated server or without paying a lot of money for a dedicated server, and that's called a peer-to-peer network. Even if you wanted to buy an inexpensive server to handle security and just general file storage for your network, you can get hold of a Linux server. There's people that can set these things up for you, and that will handle the security as far as the internet access goes, and also have a safe repository for all your data.
You'll also need a device that will enable the computers to be connected so that they can talk to each other.
In a cabled environment, this is called a switch or a hub, and if you choose to go to the wireless option, that is a network without using wires, then this can be achieved through a wireless access point. Be aware, however, if you do choose to go wireless, then there are significant security concerns that you have to be aware of. It's a more insecure environment, and also the speed is a lot less than you would have if you were in a wired or cabled environment.
So your office is networked and you're linked to the outside world via the internet. You can now use that connection to get your business name out there.
A domain name is your own company's unique address on the internet, so that every email you send out of your office has yourcompany.com.au at the end of it. And also, if you ever choose to go ahead with a website, the website's address would be www.yourcompany.com.au, which is a great marketing tool to have your company name always in front of your clients when they go to your website or when they receive an email from you.
So your laptop's wireless enabled for your office network. Why not take advantage of that capability when you're on the road? Jump on whereis.com.au and find out where the wireless hotspots are in your area. It'll tell you which establishments have a wireless gateway, and once you've settled in for a coffee, go to the hotspot page, enter in the duration you'd like to spend online, and you'll be asked for your credit card details. You'll then be given a username and password for the session.
In some venues, the option will be there to pay at the counter. It's a great way to keep in touch when you're out of town. And even Qantas are jumping on board, offering the service in their club lounge with the option of adding the cost onto your next mobile Telstra bill.